here, it looks like Jimmy Vasser's losing a little ground to Bobby on the straightaway.
Now looking at the upper left.
That's Alex Zanardi. Alex Zanardi has missed the hairpin. He has missed the hairpin. Bobby Rail, look, he's coming out behind. He's now in about way back.
He's going to have to wait for that line of cars to get by. They will not let him out until it is safe to do so.
He wants to go, but they've got to give the right away to the guys on the track. And see, he stalled it.
He's going to need a push start. Let's take another look. Going down into 3.
Just gets in there a little bit late, locks up that right front, makes a smart decision. Look, I can go up the escape road. Hopefully he won't lose too much ground. That was a mistake. But if he had tried to turn in there, he would have taken a chance of smacking the wall.
There is Chip Ganassi, his car owner. In the background, Mo Nunn, the engineer. Working lap number 25 as they pass the start-finish line. There is Alex Zanardi in heavy traffic down in turn 3, trying to pick up places as the first pit window begins to come into view. And Vasser may be scheduled for a pit stop shortly. There is Alex Zanardi just behind Parker Johnstone. That's 4th position. Johnstone is 12th.
And Bob, an update on Zanardi. The telemetry is telling them there may be a problem with tire pressure on one of the rear tires. He's not reporting any vibration, but that's what that telemetry and those tire sensors are for. They'll obviously check that as he'll be pitting shortly. We expect Vasser on the next lap.
Alex Zanardi passes Johnstone for 12th.
And I'm very surprised at that pass because Zanardi wasn't deep enough into the corner to give it. It was almost like Parker moved over thinking that he was being lapped by Alex Zanardi. That was for position. I wouldn't have moved over that easily.
Zanardi sliding through the corners. Look at that buildup. You could just imagine what happens to the tires if you get offline. Pit stops expected shortly by more of the front-running cars. We'll take a break and return with more of the Molson Indy Vancouver in just a moment.
In the field. Look, Brian Herta gets through this. We're right here in this part of the screen up there. Completely over the top of Adrian Fernandez. Damage obviously to his car.
Well, there must have been rubber-to-rubber contact to launch one car. Let's look from Alex Zanardi's onboard camera. An amazing collision between Fernandez, and watch as Zanardi, seeing no yellow flags around the racetrack, takes full advantage.
He took it.
Up through the gearbox with Alex Zanardi, the points leader, as he chases Greg Moore for 5th place in the Molson Indy Vancouver. Now, we've been watching Zanardi's car for any sign of a mechanical problem. This is for position. Inside Moore, the local hero, goes Alex Zanardi for 5th place.
Boy, Alex just dove down in the inside, made a very clean pass, but very assertive. He just didn't just stick his nose in there. He stuck the whole car down there, made a very good pass.
That gives Alex Zanardi a 37-point lead over Gilles de Ferran for the championship if things ended right now. We still have 2 full races to go.
From the crowd behind us, we'll go back and take a look.
Look, there's Alex Zanardi going down the inside of Gilles de Ferran. Seems to be his favorite passing spot. He really gets in there deep. See him in the back of your screen, right up in here. He made a very clean pass there.
Squirming slightly under braking as he turns in.
I'm a little bit surprised. He must surprise those guys. They must think he's not going to pass him because that's one of the key passing spots around this track. And you'd be protecting that position if he's that close to you.
De Ferran was. Gilles de Ferran is 5th. Christian Fittipaldi 6th. Dario Franchitti 7th. Raul Boisel 8th. Roberto Moreno 9th, substituting for the injured Patrick Carpentier. And Brian Herta runs 10th. Zanardi going down the inside of the lapped car of Andre Ribiero.
He's going down the inside of a lap car, but Andre Ribiero has been running in that pack with the leaders, not holding anybody up. Again, Zanardi made a fabulous move down there, and we've been hearing from Gary that he had brake problems. That's one of the hardest places to brake. You're coming down from about 180 miles an hour down to about 40.
Michael Andretti is 3rd, Unser Jr. 11th, the only 2 former winners of this race.
In regards to Alex Zanardi, you get the feeling that he's starting to chomp the bit, and the crew now has given him the green light to go up one on boost. That tells me that he may be charging even harder now.
He is charging harder. He has just gone down the inside of Michael Andretti in turn 3 for third place. Alex Zanardi is just working this traffic and now runs in third. Remaining. Here is Jimmy Vasser, Mauricio Gugelmin, and here comes Alex Zanardi down the inside, going for second. A look at the fuel window.
Big Mo's going to go back up the inside. Is it going to be enough? Alex got in there awful deep.
Some fight out of someone resisting Alex Zanardi. On the racetrack, back by a considerable amount. Jimmy Vasser's last lap 56.2, Gugelmin's 56.4, Alex Zanardi 55.6.
All right, and look at this. Alex Zanardi gone in deep again. Maybe he is having braking problems. He went in there very deep, lost a lot of ground.
He didn't want another taste of that escape road. Watch the field go by.
Right, and that escape road's not so good over there. You can't just do a U-turn and come back out the other end.
Laps remaining in the race. 18 laps to a possible first victory. Oh, and Alex Zanardi is in the runoff again, down in turn 3.
But he's stalled. He's stalled. That's why he cannot go forward there. He has stalled the car. That's why he's signaling everybody. Push me, push me, push me. Please, I've got to get going. Please, look, he's begging there.
So much for giving orders. Now we're praying.
But, you know, that's a very difficult spot for the workers to come out because they're in the braking zone. If somebody locks them up, they're in danger. Look at Chip going, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
His team won the title last year with Jimmy Vasser going for 2 in a row. No team has done that since Penske Racing did it with 2 different drivers back in the early 80s. Now Alex Zanardi has the engine running again, but he's going to have to wait.
But there was Big Mo. He's in second spot, but when Brian Herta pits, he'll probably take the lead there. That means he's a lap behind the leader.
With 17 laps remaining. There goes Gugelmin. Up Unser Jr., who started 22nd in this field, is up to 4th as you ride with Alex Zanardi, who started on pole, went off the track, dropped back to 23rd place, worked his way back to 4th, and then went off again. Right now, Zanardi shown in 10th place, a lap down.
Now he just got his lap back on Big Mo. He's trying to do it on Brian Herta, who's right there leading the race, hoping that a yellow would come out and it'd put him back to the back of the field. Big Mo was not concerned about that, was not going to get into a battle, take a chance of getting knocked off. He knows Brian Herta has got to make a stop before the end of this race, and he's sitting in the catbird seat.
Danny,
if your car's working that good and you're already up to 3rd and you've got a brake problem, you got to back off a little bit, but we do not know what's going on in that cockpit. Here's a guy very talented, obviously poised to win his first championship. Look right there, he's sneaking down the inside of Brian. Oh, I think they touched. I think he touched with Brian Herta.
Oh, from our Honda Helicam, you saw that both cars were balked slightly. Oh, Herta touches him, and the race leader is in the tires.
And I can't believe it. Zanardi wanted that lap back, just dove up the inside, banged Brian and pushed him right off into the wall.
I believe Alex Zanardi might be in for some criticism after this race. We have a full course caution. Brian Herta, who lost his race lead at Mid-Ohio earlier this year when a tire went down. The man who passed him and took the win was Alex Zanardi. They were bottled up behind a slower car in the hairpin. Then they got to this corner. Zanardi forced the issue up the inside, fully alongside Brian Herta, it must be said, and then they touched wheels.
But Brian's already turning into the corner right here. Brian's in there. He's not seen him, bangs him. Zanardi once again escapes, but I've really got to say that's Zanardi's fault there. He was way down on the lead. That was the leader of the race.
Another look from overhead. I can't believe Zanardi's car wasn't damaged in that collision.
I can't either. Once again, just like in Australia when he banged with wheels with Paul Tracy, he comes away unscathed, and Brian Herta is in the fence. I really got to believe that that is Zanardi's over-enthusiasm for the mistakes that were made during this caused that accident.
High above, turn 3, the hairpin. There's Unser Jr. in red and white, following the green and white car of Fangio. And Boisel,
oh, look at that.
Ooh, Mark Blundell in the blue and white car, and Alex Zanardi flashing through the field.
He is on a tear. He has certainly given us some excitement all day. I'm not so sure the other drivers will agree with what he's done, but he has been fast.
Boy, look at
and they don't want to give up spots. A lot of these positions right now are for points. That car right in front of him is Dario Franchitti, who's trying to win the Rookie of the Year award. He doesn't want to give up a spot to Alex Zanardi.
Look at the lockup on Zanardi's car as he almost collides with the back of Franchitti's machine. Then he gets back on and it chases him around the corner. Let's see, what adjective would I choose?
And there's another guy in the field that I would look for.
Oh, down the inside, Franchitti collides with Raul Boisel. That was for position. Franchitti going after 5th, and he got it, but not without contact.
And Alex Zanardi is going to take Franchitti. Because of that, he got by 1 and lost 1.
So in the space of about 200 yards, Raul Boisel goes from 5th to 7th. Dario Franchitti goes from 6th to 5th, back to 6th, as Alex Zanardi goes from 7th to 5th. Now, will Zanardi try a move on Unser Jr. down in 3?
That's been his favorite spot of late, so I've got to believe he's going to have a go there. He does. He goes down the inside. Does he have enough? Smoke off the tire. Unser Jr. back up. Look at this. Wheel to wheel. Oh, he tapped him. He got him a little sideways there. Made a move down the inside. Look at this. Franchitti's trying to make a move.
Amazing nose-to-tail action here in Vancouver in the closing laps of the Molten Indy. Alex Zanardi now up to 4th place ahead of Unser Jr. I think that twitch from Unser Jr. may have been when he looked to his left and saw that Zanardi was there.
Alex, for you, that was one of the most dramatic races we've seen for a long time. I know a lot of other drivers probably would want to talk with you after that one. You were very aggressive, moving through traffic. Most of them were picture-perfect passes, but a couple times, like with Herta, it got pretty dicey. Tell me about that one.
It's not a couple of times. It was just with Herta, and I was in. He tried to make the turn. There was not room for 2 cars.
Now, what about Al Jr.? You guys were up a little bit too, didn't you?
Well, with Al Jr., I mean, I went in the inside. Obviously, I braked too deep, and then he got me in the outside. We went side by side. It was very correct to give me the room, and then I passed him in the following turn.
Now, a couple of times you ended up down the escape road. We had some reports you had some brake trouble. Was that correct? A long pedal?
Yeah, I don't know what the problem was, but we had some brake problems, and couple of times the brake pedal just went down completely.
So overall, are you pleased with the performance today?
Absolutely. It was obviously difficult to drive the car like that. I had to pound the brake pedal all the race long, and you know, it's disappointing because definitely we had the speed to win the race and to close the championship today, but with all it happened, I mean, I think it's a miracle that we come back with a 4th place.
Now, what about when the car stalled? There was one time you went down the escape road, were able to keep it running, but then another time the car stalled. Why was that a factor?
Well, because the brake pedal went down and my foot got stuck behind the throttle pedal. So by trying to take my foot out of it, I actually brought the pedal back with me, and it kept stuck there for about a couple of seconds, and the engine stalled. And it's a disappointment, but I'm obviously happy with all the overtaking maneuver I did in a circuit where normally it's very difficult to do it.
All right, this guy looked like he was playing a video game. Gary?
Here's Gary Gerald.
Bob, it was an interesting scenario last week. The tremendous comeback drive by Zanardi, not once but twice, coming back up through the field, kind of bullying his way, and in the eyes of many, bulldozing his way. Consequently, after the race, kart officials came down hard. A $25,000 fine. Now, that's one of the largest we can ever remember in kart history, and a 2-race probation, meaning today and 3 weeks from today in Fontana. The kart officials don't want to talk any further about the situation, but I think clearly they have delivered a message to the group of drivers, the 28 who are about to compete here today. Remember, however, the last time there were probations handed out, Michael Andretti got a probation. What did he do? Well, he came back and he won 2 races promptly. Paul Tracy got a probation. He came back. He won 2 races very promptly. What will that do to the mindset today of Alex Zanardi? Well, we're going to be talking to him a little bit later on in our third segment. We'll find out what approach he takes to this race. Jan?
Okay. At the beginning of this race, all eyes are going to be on Alex Zanardi and his front row teammate, the pole sitter Bryan Herta. This week, Alex Zanardi had something interesting to say about the pass last year when he went around Bryan Herta. Said, Alex, I thought what I did was something that had to be tried, not because it was dangerous or a thrill, but the risk in such a maneuver is if you fail, all the blame is on you. I considered that and was prepared to take that if my race had ended against the wall. And as CART officials have now made abundantly clear, the same applies if the man you're trying to pass winds up with his race ended in the wall, as happened at Vancouver last week. Let's go to Gary Gerould.